Okay, so this video is going to be on networking. How to network better as a football player, soccer player, and some things that I've done and some things that I wish I would have done and some things I'm starting to do more of now. So the first thing I would say is wherever you're at right now, there are people that you're surrounded by that have influence, whether that's a large amount of influence or low amount of influence. They have an influence over somebody. And some people that you know now, so maybe your coach right now could be a coach of a team that you want to play for in 5 years from now, for example. You don't really know where people will end up. I've known some coaches or players from the past that I thought were one of the best coaches I've had and still do, but they stopped coaching or they stopped playing and now they do some other job, and I'm still friends with them, but they don't really have as much influence over soccer or football in general. But then I know some coaches and players that I didn't think were going to have all this great influence, but then now they do. And it's one of those things with what I'm saying is start right now with who you know and create good connections with them. Now, that doesn't have to be you just constantly kissing up to your coach or being a fake friend and trying to be extra close with everyone and all this extra stuff. But it does mean make sure you are in a good place with all the people that you're surrounded by. And I'll say you're like 16 years old or you're 17 and you're in high school. Still work on this with fellow high school teammates, or if you're playing and your coach, or if you're playing academy or ECNL or wherever you're playing, work on creating good relationships with your teammates. Now, they don't have to be relationships where you are spending hours with them outside of training, you're spending all this time just hanging out with them, be outside of soccer. They can be, but it more just has to be in a place where you're not neglecting or ignoring or being disrespectful to your coach at training or being argumentative with your teammates all the time, not being a positive person for them. So it's almost like treat it like not all the time, but like almost like a business relationship where I have a certain relationship, say with my brother, that is very personal. And it goes way beyond just a transactional thing. But then there also are relationships that I've had with past coaches that we have a strong relationship. I don't really speak with that coach or those coaches outside of soccer-related things. But when we're at training or when I've been at training with those coaches in the past, I'm very professional. I ask them questions. I'm personable with them, and they're personable with me. And now I have a solid connection with those coaches, and I'm at, say, a new club now, but then in the future or whatever happens, I know I can still reach out to them, just like they know they can reach out to me. So I would just say, starting right now, start making connections with people around you, and try not to be highly disliked. Now, there are going to be some people that you probably dislike playing with, or maybe you dislike your coach, but that doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful to them or you have to be degrading to them or cause any like friction or negativity towards them in any way. You can be professional about it and play on the same team as someone that you maybe don't get along with that well. I feel like there's so many, I don't know the relationships of big professional players, but let's say Ronaldo and Bale, okay? I don't know anything, maybe we're best friends, but I've got a feeling that they probably weren't hanging out all the time. It probably was something where they show up at training, they're like, oh, good morning, whatever, and they get to work, and they have a good relationship on the field, and maybe they didn't, but my point is that you can have good relationships on the field and in the locker room and in your sport that don't have to be outside. So I would just say start off with making good connections and relationships with people you already know. Now, the next thing is social media. Social media is a powerful tool that can really help you get connected with others. Now, say me, I make juggling videos, and that has helped me with connecting with different people that can help me get talk with this person or this person. But I will say LinkedIn is hugely powerful. I don't know if those words go together really, but I'm currently working on trying to up my game on LinkedIn. But I would say start off with trying to connect with people you already know on LinkedIn, and then try to connect with coaches that you potentially want to play for. So let's say you are in high school and you're thinking of going to college, but you know your end goal, or one of your end goals, is to try to play professionally. Right now, you can start trying to connect with different professional coaches that are currently coaching in different professional leagues. There's MLS, there's USL Championship, USL 1, NISA, MLS Next Pro, and there's coaches, then they're all up on LinkedIn. Now, they maybe won't connect with you in the beginning, but some of them maybe will. And as long as you kind of have that, then you can kind of start to maybe reach out by email, and maybe each year being like, giving an update of this is where I'm playing, if you're interested, whatever. And maybe the first 2 or 3 years of you emailing coaches during preseason, and maybe you're already going to go to a school, but you're like, look, I'm committing to this college school, but I'm also really interested in possibly coming to preseason with your team or whatever. And you maybe won't get responses for the first year, and you'll send out 100 emails or whatever. But that one time you get a response could be life-changing, and you could get an invite to go to a preseason with the USL Championship team, perform well, get signed, and now you're a professional player. So start off with that, and then also don't, with the past relationships you've made. So let's say you already have good connections with the coaches and players that you've played with. Keep those alive. Don't say you had a really good coach that you loved playing for 3 years ago, and he's still coaching right now. And maybe he's not coaching a professional team. Maybe he's coaching a USL 2 team or some other team. Don't just not contact them. Make sure you're in contact with them. Check in on how they're doing, even though it seems like, oh, they're the coach, they should be checking in on me because I'm the player. It doesn't always have to be like that. Check in on them, be like, oh, I saw your team played well, congrats, blah, blah, blah. And just keep tabs on them consistently so that when, and I'm hoping you do care, but let's say they all of a sudden become the head coach for Inter Miami and now we're coaching Messi. And then it's not something that's weird where you're like, oh, hey, congrats on your new job coaching Inter Miami. And that's like your first message you've messaged them in 3 years. That's kind of weird. So you kind of want to like keep up with everyone. And now, this is kind of the end of the video, but I'm new to this, and so I'm still figuring it out. If you guys have tips for me, please let me know, but these are some things that I think are beneficial and that can help you guys. And yeah, so start off with relationships that you have right now or have the opportunity to build right now, and try to use social media the best you can to try to promote yourself as a player, and at the same time connect with potential coaches that you could be playing for and clubs you could be playing for in the next 2 to 3 years, or 1 to 3 years, or the next month, I don't know. And then lastly, make sure you keep up with past relationships you've had and current ones that you're maintaining. Yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and I'm working on doing the talking ones. I'm not the best at these, but just bear with me for now. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. If you guys want to see more of these, please let me know in the comments. I hope you guys have a good day.